What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you guys are on a fantastic day today. And today we have the September 2020 NG Models tier list video for you guys. I really hope you guys are excited for today's video. If you guys are, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and turning on the notification bell so you guys never miss on any content to come. So we are already back, guys. Really quick turnaround from the Gemini Jets 1. I'm going to talk about that a little just for a moment here. But we do have the NG Model September release pictures, and we are ready to review and rate the models. So I have to say, now looking back on it, I was a little harsh on Gemini Jets and a couple of the models that I ranked. Some of them, yes, the colors had some real issues, but I think giving 4 of them other failure, a couple of them like the TUI and a couple others, I think I was probably a little too harsh. So if you guys have seen that video, I do apologize for being a little too critical. I'm not trying to be biased here. I legitimately probably was a little too harsh on them for some of those models. But anyways, we have the NG Models ones today. I'm going to not be biased. I never was trying to be, but obviously we're going in here and rating some awesome models. We had a very solid release. It was quite different, obviously, since we have our new system and time frames, obviously, since NG Models is heading towards a more frequency over quantity schedule now, which is very, very interesting, but very cool indeed. So as you guys can tell, we have the tier list here ready to go. We have, I believe, 11 models. One got rolled over from last month, and then the others 10 are from this month. So really excited to get into this. So we are going to get started with one that I am very, very excited about. This is the Delta Airlines Airbus A321 standard delivery by NG Models. And man, I'm telling you, got 3 of these coming. Very, very excited. And let's just get straight into analyzing this baby. So as you can tell, got the pictures here, and they're looking very, very good. Got your cockpit windows and then SkyTeam logo, L1 door, landing gear looking good, Delta titles on point. Very rich blue there, which is pretty interesting. One thing I do notice here going through is we do have a little paint smudge, but obviously this to this particular aircraft. Hopefully that's not a huge QC issue across the rest of them, but anyways, just notice that. Now, one thing I'm super excited about are the CFM engines. Now, if you guys saw the Jet 2 from, I think, July, or a couple months ago, we had our CFM engines, but they were, I believe it's due to the landing gear height, maybe some pylons, and maybe a little of both, but they were very low to the ground. That's been a problem with NG's 321 mold. During the August releases, they pulled it and they re-entered it, so hopefully they fixed not only the QC issues that it had with the wings falling off and everything, but it looks like the engines have been fixed from this perspective, as you can see right here. It's very nice and level, and we have a pretty good gap. They may be a little bigger or a little small, or they may be a little big is what I'm trying to say, but they are a lot better than the Gemini Jets Neos, and no bias there. We all know that mold is very bad. We got the Sharklets here looking good, and the wings looking very nice and level. You got the L3 door, Wi-Fi boxes looking on point, then the registration's November 339, Delta November, L4 door, and then the colors looking good. Some of these are going to be very hard to tell because there's a couple of them I'm very skeptical on, but I don't have any of the other pictures right now from that other guy that, as you guys saw in the August video, so I can't really give you guys the best analysis of that. Now, here is the real-life counterpart. Looking very solid, very good representation by NG Models to show this thing, or show what the Delta Airbus A321 looks like. And it's going to get a perfect to start rocking here. Very good. And then on to a very similar model, but a very good one. We have the Delta Airlines Airbus A321 in the thank you livery. I will be getting this one. We'll be selling my Aero Classic, so if you're interested in that, definitely contact me, and if I still have it, we can negotiate. Now, this livery is very similar, just a couple of slight changes, as I'll zoom in here and show you the 2 main differences. Now, we do have the symbol. Obviously, this is in thank you livery, thanking the employees for Delta, dedicated to the world's best employees and customers. Now, I know a handful of people were going on about this being a little big. It's actually pretty much the size that I would, pretty much the size of what it is in real life. As you can tell, everything lines up to where it's supposed to. Customers down here with this logo, and it dedicated a couple, probably barely centimeters on the model, so they did a very good job representing that. I do see this little whatever you want to call it, slice out of the L right there. Hopefully that's just a one-time model deal, but we'll have to see. Delta looking really good in the titles. Then thank you. This is a very rich red, And as you can see from this golden hour picture, it's a very, very rich red. It's very similar to the one up here on the tail, which we will take a look at. And as you can tell, they kind of look very similar. Now this is obviously lighting. I can't really tell you if it's absolutely perfect. We'll have to see the model when it comes in, but it's definitely very promising. The engine's still looking good, and besides that, is completely identical to the standard. I'm going to give it another perfect. We're looking very, very good. Well done NG models, highly anticipated model. As long as we don't have any QC issues, there's going to be absolutely no reasons to complain whatsoever. Next up, we have a very cool model. This is the Iceland Air Boeing 757-200 in the National Geographic livery. Very, very interesting service Iceland Air did, as they have been pretty much doing tours for very expensive prices. So very cool model for them to make, and we are going to get into this. It's pretty much Euro white, but obviously that's kind of the theme of National Geographic, because as you can tell, cockpit windows and everything looking good with the nose, landing gear looking fantastic. National Geographic with the yellow box, I thought it was a really, really cool design that Iceland Air did there. Very, very good attention to detail. Just jumping a little forth and back real quick. This antenna is black, as you guys can see from the real life counterpart right here, and it's looking very, very good. Right there's the black and then the 3 whites. So very, very good job by next generation models. Engines seem a little tilted up, which that's all not horrible. Very, very good job regardless, looking pretty good. The rest of it's very standard. That one outline is correct right there. You got these Scimitar 757 winglets, which look great. Got the Wi-Fi box looking on point. Now this is the only thing that I kind of, or before we go to that, registrations Tango Foxtrot Foxtrot India Sierra. Now this seems a little crooked. I could just be the angle of the picture, but the model is pretty level and that still seems just a touch crooked. And as you can tell on the real life counterpart, that is pretty much straight. So that's really the only minor flaw with it. I'm going to give it another perfect, a very, very good model by NG. Next up, we have the Republican Argentina 757 government aircraft, which is super cool. This one is very, very interesting, so we're going to zoom in and take a look at it. Now, their colors were the first thing that really caught my attention. Sorry, I had too many tabs, so I decided to close them. Let's head over to the 757. Here's a really good picture on airliners.net. Once again, credit goes to all the guys. But I looked at a couple different angles of this. This gold does seem dimmer in most lighting conditions. This blue, same for all the colors pretty much. As you can tell, they are very vibrant. I'm very interested to see how this portrays in real life, how this comes out. But I mean, it's the concept. It's pretty much correct. I've been between a good and a perfect on this model. We'll go through the rest of it. Obviously, registration's Tango 01. Very interesting registration there. Engine's looking very good on this aircraft, and you can kind of see here that they're looking dimmer on this perspective. So I'm interested to see what it's going to look like. Besides that, the model's fantastic. You got your logos and everything here looking very, very good. As I go back here, as you can tell right there. Sorry, got too much crap open. My goodness. Boeing 757-200. This model's looking fantastic, and for anybody that wanted it, that's a great model to get. It will get a perfect. Colors, little unsure, but they look pretty gosh darn good, so I will give it a pass in my book. Next up, we have the Northwest Airlines Boeing 757-200 by NG models in the Boeing shoe livery with no winglets. Very, very cool model. As you can tell right here, everything's looking good. Very simple livery, kind of, or you know, shades. Only 3 shades of color, but got cockpit windows, L1 door, registration, or here's the fleet number. Northwest tiles across. I find it interesting how T goes over the L2 door, but very cool. Then you have your symbol here. This was with their KLM partnership, and then the other airline, which I can't recognize off the top of my head. Engines looking good. Those are, I want to say they're Pratt Whitneys, but I could be wrong. And then we're scrolling back through here, we have November 549 Uniform Sierra, and then the tail looking great. The two things that really caught my eye are the gray and the red. This is the same thing that that Argentine, or the other 757 that caught my attention was the colors. They just really seem to pop and come out. As you can tell right here, this is sunlight right here, and they seem a lot dimmer. So I'm very interested to see what it's gonna look like in sunlight and if it comes out like that. But I mean, it's the concept, and I don't have a problem with them bringing out those models and making them look really good. I know I was very particular about that in the Gemini Jets tier list video, but those are like off. These are more vibrant. These are more vibrant representations of what the colors actually look like. Those colors that Gemini Jets did for the most part were pretty much just way too light or way too dark. These aren't way too light or way too dark. They're just vibrant of the right color, if you guys get my drift. So I'm gonna put in perfect as well. Lots of really good models. Now, sunlight, they may look a little different, but I mean, the representations of everything are correct. I know I've been very critical and picky about colors, but I mean, heck, these are really, really good, I can't lie. Next up on the list, we have the Heinen Airlines Boeing 737-800. Now, there's 3 of these, or sorry, this is a very similar livery. This is Supreme Airlines. Now, as you guys can tell, these 2 colors, these look a lot like July. I don't know why, but they look a lot like the July. They were very dim. But then this one looks a lot brighter like what we've had. So the first 2 are very similar. The only difference is the second one has the Chinese Southern nose cone little deal, which got transferred over. But anyways, we'll begin the front here, cockpit windows and everything, landing gear looking great. Have the outline around the door, which is orange, and you got titles for both languages going back through here again. And then you have the simple stripes here, or sorry, not simple, but you have the stripes here of red and yellow. Now this red and yellow, it's been something I've been thinking about trying to decide how to rate it. By the way, the registration is Bravo 1786, and then the other one we'll get to in just a second. They seem way too dark. Now this is where I actually think they're too dark. If we pull up a real life counterpart, see how much more vibrant they are in sunlight. But we can go to the other model, which is so similar, you can pretty much call it as the same. And then this is Bravo 1729, Bravo 1992. This is a lot better lighting, and they still seem slightly dark, as you can tell. But I have a feeling in sunlight that's gonna come out better. As you can tell, it's not near as bad, but that red seems a little dark, and the yellow on the tail. The yellow right here seems a lot closer, but obviously that's a little brighter. So for these 3, I'm very skeptical. I really just need to see it in sunlight to confirm. But I mean, they obviously got the concept right. They're really nice models, obviously, and it's very tough to decide whether to give these good or perfect because of what we have sample wise. But I mean, as presented right here, there are situations where it comes out darker. So I'm gonna have to give it to NG on this one. I think they got it, but these pictures are super dark. They're very hard to tell, so I hope you guys understand that. It's not my intention to, you know, saturate it or whatever. I mean, it's just very hard to tell. But I will give them the benefit of the doubt and give 3 perfects here. I think they are correct, and I think they did a good job on those. Gonna have to see them in sunlight, but very, very, you know, up in the air, whether for perfect or good. Next up, oops, my bad. Next up, we have the Court Airlines Elton 11 TriStars. We have a yellow one, and we have a pinkish, orangish, reddish one. So these 2, I'm definitely gonna have to show you guys the pictures of these because they're pretty interesting. Starting with the yellow one, as you can tell, this is sunlight, and it seems as such these shades that NG did, they're so hard to tell because from different lighting perspectives and different atmospheres, they look much different. And with their pictures already messed up as, or you know, different as it is and hard to analyze, it just seems weird. Now this one, as you can tell, we have a very pale color on the top, a middish yellow orange in the middle, and then a darker orange on the bottom. And as you can tell from the picture right here, it seems as such they made them so vibrant, it's off. As you can tell, these 2 colors almost seem the same, which they're not. This seems too much yellow compared to orange. This seems way too bright, and then this one seems too dark, more vibrant as such. The orange looks close, and then these other 2, I don't know. This could just be straight up ISO being so jacked you can't tell. Keep that in mind before I rank these, but due to that, I'm gonna have to give it good because too much speculation on those colors. I honestly think that they're probably a little off on those yellows, but it happens, and it's just those are really old pictures to have to go off of. So very tough situation, but I mean, it's the concept, so you can't complain. It's still a very nice model, and the mold's super, super good. And the registration for that is Gulf Bravo Alpha 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 3 triple A's. That's pretty epic. And then next up we have the other one. This one is in the kind of the red theme color wise, and I'll show you guys the picture of this one that I have. This is kind of a really bad picture, but this is the one that kind of seemed closest to what we were trying to analyze here. That top color, obviously, I think it's too rich on the NG models. It's supposed to be more of that palish color. keep in mind, I looked at a couple angles and it seemed like in dim conditions it came out a little more, but for the most part it was pretty much kind of like this, a little darker. So I have to say I think that color may be slightly off. And then same thing for the titles too. As you can tell, they come out so much more on the NG models version compared to their real life counterparts. The middle shade, I think it's way too orange, I really do. As you can tell, that's more of a mid pinkish. This seems pretty much orange, so that shade I'm gonna have to give wrong. That's not looking like it. The red shade on the bottom I think is looking closer for sure. In dim conditions, that was pretty much correct, but in sunlight, to an extent, that's not really what it's kind of a little lighter, I believe. Sorry, there's so many shades to compare. It's kind of hard to keep everything in task. That one as well is gonna get a good. That top shade, middle shade, just same deal. It seems like they got one of the shades for both of them, but the other two kind of just kaplunked. I'm not trying to say that they're bad models whatsoever. They look very, very good, but there's too much speculation, and just from the initial pictures, I mean, just going off of that. Now in sunlight, it could be a whole different story, so please keep that in mind. I'm not saying that these are bad models, but from initial impressions, I just think that they're slightly off, but still very good models, and I highly recommend them. And then finally, a very highly anticipated model. We have the ANA Boeing 787-9 in the Star Wars livery. If I forgot to mention, I did get a thank you, and I know this is gonna shock a lot of you guys, but I did get this aircraft because it is so beautiful. Such a cool livery. What more would you want than Star Wars and Aviation? I mean, come on now. Now here's the model. The model's looking super, super good. NG 787 mold is probably one of the best, if not the best out there, and it is super, super good. Comparing it to its real life counterpart, as you can tell right here, there's one shade that really makes me think. Keep in mind, this is a very golden hour right here to compare it to. The blue is obviously very rich, but it looks like the shade. This is very similar to, what model is that? Northwest in the Argentina one. So same concept there. Now this gray, it does look dark. Keep in mind this is a golden hour shot, but it's golden hour lighting. That's kind of a metallic grayish. I feel like it will come out. So I will give them a pass for that color. The rest of these colors are looking very on point. The most of them are white. There is one right there that's a grayish, and or is that a different one? I think that's in the middle of the fuselage. Is this the right tail number? 783. Okay, this is indeed the right tail number. So speculation there somewhat, but it's looking pretty gosh darn good, I have to say. And then the Star Wars logo, that's on point. They did a fantastic job representing that. Keep in mind this model transferred over from last month if you're confused. And then you have the ANA logo and everything, the Dreamliner logo and the ANA tail, which those colors are looking on point to me. Keep in mind these are kind of dim conditions that we have to work with the NG models pictures. Rest of everything's looking good. We do have that yellow pen, which is, as you can tell, that's there. And man, I'm so excited to get this model. This is going to be beauty. I'm really going to be eager to see it in sunlight. Very critical element it will be for the storyline airport. And I'm going to give that one as perfect as well. So this was a very good set of models. NG models really did a good job, not being biased or anything such as that. Now, obviously, Northwest in the other 757, the government one, could definitely flop down to good depending on their lighting situations. But the Quartz, there's just too much speculation for me to give them perfect. But I thought they did a really good job. And guys, once again, I'm not being biased here. Gemini Jets had a fantastic July, but there was so many head scratchers on their September releases. Or sorry, were those August? The August release is really good, and then the September ones made you scratch your head a lot. The July models, there was some that were good, some that were bad, but we weren't doing tier list at the time. I'm not trying to call out companies saying that they suck or if they're horrible. And I apologize about the last video. I know I was pretty gosh darn critical and probably a little too much. But NG Models did a fantastic job this month. I'm really eager to get my models. Once again, 3 Delta A321s, the ANA 787-9, R2D2, and Delta A321. Thank you. I'm so eager to get those. But here's my tier list rankings, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. And let me know which ones you guys got and what you guys think of the releases. So my name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, guys. Take care, trust the process, do what you love, and love what you do. My name is Redriveraviation. I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys soon as Redriveraviation is signing off.